Well, hello. If you are here, please tell me something in the chat, just to be sure. Maybe let's break the ice with the country that you are joining from. Really curious. Last time we were from, I don't know, all over the world, more than 20 countries. Let's see this time. I'm really curious to see. So if you can hear this, please, yes, yeah, perfect. Germany, hi, Astrid, hi, Michael, super cool. So where are you joining from? Let me hear you. Oh my God, what code awaits for us? Oh my God. Let's see if we can go over this and learn something new and play a bit with streams and perhaps, right, discuss some best practices regarding clean code and Java 8 also. Portugal, Belgium, Estonia, Netherlands, Dublin, oh my God, excellent. Romania, of course, India, Denmark, Tunisia. Now that's amazing. Okay. Well, since it's about time, I will start, and everything that's here will be recorded and afterwards will be available. So, just so you know, this is the second part of this exercise. The first part is already on YouTube. I know that, where are you? Come on. Okay. Who am I? 2 minutes, not more than that. My name is Victorenta. I am a Java champion. I also know other languages. I became a Java champion probably because of the talks that I gave at the various conferences. I compiled a playlist for you that you can see on my website, the best talks that I gave at different conferences. I'm also the founder of one of the biggest, of the largest developer communities in Romania, Bucharest Software Craftsmanship Community. We recently opened it for any English speaker, if you care to join. This whole webinar is actually part of my efforts for this community. And I'm doing this publicly because others wanted to join and see and comment and discuss things. So I will be watching your chat. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, 23 years, yes. So in this community, I'm trying to share my passion for simple design for refactoring and unit testing, automatic testing. Since April, I'm fully independent trainer and consultant. I gave up my role at IBM, and I'm now just doing trainings and consultancy. 8 years I've been doing trainings, a lot of developers, many companies, Java, the most common Java stack. This is what I normally teach, but also stuff which is agnostic to technology, like design patterns, clean code, and testing. Reactivex and Java performance, also very interesting topics, and these are all fully explained on my website. I'm also on the social media, so if you care to join, you know where to find me. If you care to, learn more, you know how to find me. So let's dive right into the business today. The business today is that we have a, where are the tests? Thank you, the test. This test checks that we don't break anything. So as long as this test is still green, we are allowed to clean up the implementation here any way we please. So I will rely on you folks to tell me ideas as I move on. I'll keep reading the comments that you provide. So right now we started from a green tests. Okay, we only have passing tests. And let's quickly recap what we did last time. The game is named Yatzi. One of the things we did last time was that we created a class named Dice Hand. This Dice Hand, this we need to understand just briefly until we continue. This Dice Hand, so in very, very simple words, this game is about, how to put this, evaluating, this challenge is to evaluate a set of dices, 4 dices, based on a set of rules. You can find, I will show you how it's the easiest way to find any kata out there. Kata, log, and I can say Yatzi. Actually, even catalog is a good place to start. Catalog, refactoring, and these are the problems and the most wide-known problems. And this is the problem that we are solving now. If you read the description beforehand, then you know that there are some rules in there that you can evaluate some set of dices based on those rules, and you can tell then what score you get based on that rule. So basically, you would be called these methods 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6s, and then score pair. All of these will be called given a dice hand as a parameter. Now, your goal is to return the score based on these rules. But as usual, as normal, what happens in real life, you don't have such a big. I mean, you don't know the rules beforehand, but you look at the code, and maybe let's continue with this one and let's see how it goes. So, does it make sense to say that every argument in the function is declared final? Oh, should I declare all of these final? Now, in Eclipse, that was it makes sense. It made sense, but in IntelliJ, it doesn't. You know why? Because in IntelliJ, if you have good eyes, then you will see that at the moment that you are changing a parameter, let me check because this one, yeah, it's in this particular example is very little. I mean, you have to have good eyes here to see the light gray 1 pixel solid underline for this variable, because the variable name is terrible, right? But look, at the moment you change a parameter, it gets underlined by IntelliJ automatically. If you do not change the parameter, it's not underlined. So, yeah, we should rely on how to put this final word that you mentioned here. I know teams that that actually have the final words added automatically when they commit code. I find that it distracts me. This final, I'm just looking at, it's blue and it's like int, and I keep reading final and I can't see the real stuff there. So in my opinion, given that you have this trick in IntelliJ, I don't think it's necessary anymore. Okay? Yeah. This is just my subjective opinion on this. Okay? The rectangle is called Zoom It. Very good for presentations. Only Windows. Okay? Yeah, indeed. And in case you have a lot of arguments and you keep changing them, that's a sign that you might have a too big function and you might break the function into smaller pieces. But let's see what happens here. So intelligent equals a array of. Now, there is an alt enter, and you will see me hitting alt enter a lot. Okay? Join declaration and assignment. This what we will do. It will merge this and this. My purpose is to move with small steps and to slowly go towards where I want to go. So D1, this should be named D2, of course. Okay. By the way, renaming a local variable like this, or renaming here this, or renaming a parameter like this, can never break anything. I repeat, you can't break anything by renaming a variable or a parameter. Nothing can ever break. It's one of the several refactorings which don't ever break code. Along with extract method, extracting a method out of any piece of code can't ever break anything. In Eclipse or IntelliJ included, nothing can ever break because it's done automatically using some abstract syntax. This is computed. This is not manually done. So don't ever be afraid of renaming a local variable or a parameter. Okay? To keep this in mind. Now, what the heck is this? Style is D1 minus 1. So, what? Minus 1 plus plus. What does it do? So let's assume we have an array of 6 positions, right? Let's imagine. So there are 6 positions. Now, as you know, in Java, in computer science, we tend to index them by 0. Okay? So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up to 5. Now, D1, we know from previous session that it's the value that a dice had. Okay? Now, a dice, as you know, like a cube can only have 6, how do you call them, right? 6 faces, I'm not sure the English term, but the trick is that you can go from 1 to 6. Minus 1, you shift the interval to 0, 5. So basically this will increment the position this will be incrementing the positions minus 1. Okay, so it's a sort of a frequency dictionary, if you like. So give an example in case you hit, in case this is your combination of dices, then on the 0 position you have 5, and then 6, and then 5 more zeros. It's a sort of count map, a count. as the order is not relevant for Yatzi, wouldn't it at least be more appropriate? Well, the order is relevant for this because the 0 index corresponds to dice number 1. So this is tricky. Now it means that if you draw 1, 1, 1, okay, all the 5 dices that you have all turned 1, then you will have 5 ones. That's what it means. Okay, 5 surfaces. Yeah, 5 ones. How to name it? Okay, 5 ones. Okay, this is what it really means. So it gathers the count for each of dice. And then what does it do? Let's understand. For int e0 less than 6, so it goes through all of them. If there is one element in this array which has at least 4 elements, just like I do here, or it could have been this idea. If this happens, then I will return the I plus 1 times 4. Now why the heck times 4 I plus 1? Imagine this turned down. Imagine this is really the scenario. What will happen? Well, on the 0 position you'll have 5 dices, and then what would you do? Well, I equals to 0. Okay, then you will multiply 1 times 4. So what does this really mean is that if you are playing this rule, it means that if you have 4 dices with the same value, 4 or more dices with the same value, you get 4 times the value of that dice. Okay? So yeah, what the heck is this? Oh, how should you do this? The purpose of today is functional programming. Now, the first challenge is how the heck do I compute this? Because the first problem, honestly speaking, is this subtraction and addition. This is so evil, right? I mean, what the heck? You have to be careful that you are basically shifting to left and then shifting back to right. What the heck? Now, let's experiment one thing first. Let's put 7 elements. And what would I do next? I will skip the first one. I will not use the first index. Yeah? That's my question. Zoom it, it's called. Zoom it. The tool that I'm drawing on the screen. Good. So this basically I will not use the first. If this is true, I would say that subtracting 1 from here could be removed, as well as the plus 1 from here. But I will miss a bug if I do this. Since I am not shifting to the left with one position, and now I'm using the real number, then 6 is also a valid value. So I will iterate from 1 to 6. Very tricky, this one. You see what I'm doing? So again, let me compare before and after. I was storing shifted to left, and then I was iterating from 0 to 6. What I would like to do is to skip the 0 index and store from 0. I will need to start from 1 and end at 7. So every time I work with an index here, I need to make sure to something like that. And I know the emotions are here, I know in your soul, so you run the tests. Okay? These are, oh my god, would I break anything? Oh my god, let's see. You know, no, it seems that I got it right. I kind of understood the code, it proved me that. So now, how do I do this with Java 8? Well, let's see. First things first, if I look at the things that I did last time, I see that I used the dice hand as a parameter instead of having 5 integers. Now, what would the test need to do to give me that? If I look at the test, I will see that I am instantiating dice hand before I pass the parameter to the method. So, in my situation here, I need to do the same. I need to get a dice hand as a parameter. So what would I do for this? I will introduce a parameter object. And I will say that I want to use the existing. Now, this is among the most dice hand. The most advanced refactoring options in IntelliJ. Eclipse doesn't have this. It will match all the parameters to the constructor arguments of this class, and it will use this class and pass it instead of the 5 integers. And when you press refactor, you're like, let's see, field associated. Let's see, continue. Let's see if I got it right. Yeah, kind of right, but this one didn't work out. Why? 3. There are. What's wrong with that? Something is fishy here. Let's see again. So 5 integers. Okay, but no, that's interesting. This particular test tested a different thing. Oh my god, yes. So let's move this to what the heck was that? Legacy testing, yes. And again, let's do it again. So Control-Alt-Shift-T I'm pressing, which is a shorthand for getting all the refactorings in front of me. Introduce parameter object, and I'm using the dice hand. Good. D1 to 5, it should work. Let's see, continue. Let's see what happens next. Well, the problem that it highlights is that I don't have getters to get the fields back. So the dice hand doesn't have getters for all the individual things inside. Eek, which is a bit annoying. How can I do this one? I could add the getters just for a while, but I have this other method that I could use, die of an index. Interesting, which gets me the die on that index. Let's try to use that one. As an interim solution, I won't stick with that, just as an interim solution. So here, this would be get die, die, okay. And then I have to pass an index. Wait a second, this should be the index, the first one, okay. And I am back at the 0 index. Oh no. Let's see. Die of index of 1, okay. And then I need to copy this everywhere down. I will use Alt-J to have 3 cursors and paste over all of them. Good. 2, 3, 4. If I'm right, then this should work. Let's see. Yeah, this should work. Let's see. Yeah, I'm right. This was a bit of a risky change. But then, how do you compute the frequency using this dice hand? This dice hand is very conveniently returning me a stream if I want. Okay, so it's basically creating a stream out of the internal array. But if I look from it from the outside, I don't see the internal array. This is just an implementation detail. The public methods are only give me the sum. What is this? It's summing all the values of a certain value. Okay, it gives me the die based on an index, and then it gives me the iterator to go through all of the 5 and the stream to go through all of the 5. Okay. Correct parameters now. I will use group by. Yes, something like group by. This is what we need indeed. So let's do that. Where are you? Here. Okay. So let's start with this. So dice hand. So dice hand, you have to realize that it's basically a collection of all the 5 dices, and if you do stream, you get a stream of all the 5. Dot. And now comes the fun part. I will collect, but then I need to group by, because I need somehow to group the dices based on their values. Grouping by what? Grouping by, now let's see, this was a stream of integers. So based on an integer, I could group by the same value of the integer. What would this give me? It's very useful when you use the grouping by to write the expression first and then Alt-Enter. You are right, returning stream is a bit tricky. Now, having methods that return stream, it's not very bad. What is indeed is a bit suspicious if you would is the case when you pass a stream around. Let me give you the example. So for example, you have this stream, and then you wait, what am I doing? No, Control Z, no, not a method. I want a variable, please. str. Excellent. And now it would be a bit dubious if I would move this to a method. Now this is strange, to pass a stream as a parameter. That's a bit tricky because the stream you have to be very careful not to be consumed already. So yeah, but having a method returning a stream, as long as you have the source data available with you and you can call stream no matter how many times you want, that's not a problem really. Okay, stream, collect, grouping by. Now this gives you a map of integer to list of integers. It would be interesting to print this out to see what we got. Collect, and let's to print the initial and yeah, let's see, s out, and I would like to also print the dice hand. Does it have a nice toString, please? Not yet. I should create a nice toString for it. toString. Well, I could print the int array, but as you know, look, IntelliJ was clever enough to call the arrays toString. Otherwise, it gets very messy. Otherwise, the toString of an array is incredibly ugly. Yes. Some value of dice hand iterating over dice values. Let's see if I can use this one. What would this do? It will sum the values. will sum it. Yes, it will sum all the values for the dices of a given value. So yes, I could iterate from 1 to 6 and basically use this one, but this gives me the sum. It's not that nice. In the meantime, let's see what we got printed from these two. Well, we were given the dice hand this, and you see there are 4 trees here. So what we got was 3. This is the key. The 3 was the key, and then as the value for that key, as this list, we got the 4 trees. The 4 trees. But we don't want to collect the trees. We just want to count them. So that's where it will be, that's where you have to learn that the grouping by has an overload which can allow you to pass a downstream collector. Now, this is very strange, what this really means. You have to realize, how does this work? All the elements will stream into this collector, and the collector will start grouping them. But then the question is, how will I collect the groups themselves? By default, it uses toList. Right? If you don't put any parameter to the grouping by, if you look at it, it will just pass toList as the second level collector. But basically, the question is, what do you want to get as the collections? Do you want a set? Let me prove that one too. To set. If you do this, what you get back is a map between the key and a set of integers, you see? But you don't want to do that. You want to do counting. Counting does exactly what you want. Counts how many of them. By the way, there are several others, summing int, but these summing int and counting, you will only use these when you will do grouping by collectors. That's where you would use them. And this is like a how did I name them? Collect, what a terrible name. But let's see what it prints first of all. We could count and get the max. Yeah, we could do that too, but let's see this one first. Okay, so I have 4 trees and 1 5. Right. I have 4 ones. No, what this means is that for the 4 value, I have a single die. True. And for the 5 value, I have 4 dices. That's it. Now, count values method. Yeah, indeed. This method, you're right here. This could fit in the dice hand itself. You are kind of right, and I'm very tempting to do it, but I will put it only if I see me using it twice. Okay, to be honest. Let's first implement this fully. So what would I need to do then? Well, if I got this map back, I need to see if I have an entry with a value greater than 4. This is what I need to do. Yep. Oh, for a kind. Have I used the same thing above? Let's see. Did counting by 4 of a kind, but this is the 4 of a kind. The 3 of a kind I didn't do yet. Just patience, just a bit. In a second. In 2 pair. Oh, 2 pair. Yes, I have the same piece of code. You're right. How can I see that it's the same piece of code? Actually, it's triplicated. IntelliJ will award me. Oh my god, you were right. You are doing this 3 times. Congratulations. So how would I name this method? Let's name it get frequencies. Or get die counts. So of each die and when I would replace the method now, get frequency map, get count map. Good. When I will replace it, it will also replace the 2 duplicated code places. Yes, replace. Good. And now the second thing that I will do, as you said, I will move this in the. Let's see if I can figure it out. No, I need to do the following. Convert to instance method. If it's a static method, if you want to put it in the dice hand itself, convert to instance method, and IntelliJ will figure out. Do you want to move it in the dice hand by any chance? Yes, of course. Public. Move. One of the most interesting refactorings really is to move methods in the object which contain the data, to put the methods in the type that you got as a parameter. Just before now, we got something in the dice hand as a parameter, but now we are in the dice hand itself. So let's see if we didn't break anything. Let's run the tests again. Very good. Very good. How did you get the pop-up with refactoring? Yes, that's the most useful when you start refactoring. When you don't know all the shortcuts, you only need to know one shortcut. Control-Alt-Shift-T. Control-Alt-Shift-T, it will get you all the possible refactorings at that place or cursor or selection. Incredibly useful, right? And you can just then start typing. I want to extract a method. Enter. Very useful. Good. Now, what would I do? I need to iterate over the entry set. So, dice hand dot get count map. Pay attention to what gets blue. Gets blue. I would call this over dot expansion, because the expression contains a dot. You see, dice hand get count map dot entry set dot, and I will iterate over entries. Postfix expansion in IntelliJ entry, and if the entry dot get value is at least 4, then return entry dot get key, the same trick. And now Control Shift Enter will finish the whole statement. Okay, yes, good. And this should kind of do it, but notice that I don't yet delete the old implementation yet. I'm just running the tests again. should return this earlier. So, oh, I got a problem in this. So what should I return really? What I need to return is not the count, but count times the value. Oops. Entry get value, the same trick. And the time, what's wrong? Oh, it's long. Yeah, ugly. Let's cast it to an int. Yeah. Because counting got me a long, and this will annoy me more than this. I mean, I expect this will hurt me in more than one place. Let's see the other places. No, this was safe, and this, no, this didn't give me any ugly code. Okay, but I would prefer to have int here, to be honest. Let's see if you can survive this one. So yeah, where were we? Not here. We were in the, my god, feels just like legacy code. Where were we? Here. That's it. Good. And now, since it's green, I will briefly comment this out, run the tests again to see if it still works. And notice very little baby steps, the least amount of changes between rerunning the tests. Good. And now, why is this better than the array form? Because there is no shifting to left, shifting to right. Am I dancing here? What the heck? You shouldn't shift like that. So this becomes never read from, I think. Yeah, never are just written but never read. So this can prove me that I can delete that one. Why is this not used? Because I did it again. Good. And that's kind of it. Good. 4 of a kind. Now, guess what? 3 of a kind. If we had 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, should we get 20 or 25 for 4 of a kind? Very good question. And the only possible way to answer this is to read the spec. 4 of a kind. Where are you? 4 of a kind. Here. If there are 4 dice with the same number, and gives you the exact example that you gave me. Okay, only counts 4 of them, not all the 5. So good question. And honestly, this should be a test, right? And if I look at what was printed just now, I saw that there was no such test. And any remarkable situation in the spec should be translated in a test, especially if the business banged their head to give you a concrete example. And also, there should be a case in which I don't have 4 of a kind, right? There should be a case tested which doesn't enter the 4. Let me prove you how can you find this scenario in real cases. Let me run this with the shield, right? Let me run this with the shield first. Yes, you're right. This will fail. I have a bug. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a bug. Right? Let's see. 4 of a kind. Yeah, this test will fail. At which moment I will select this, a trick that I just heard from one of the trainees, and it's called git show history for selection. Very useful trick. Show history for selection. What was it? Multiplied by 4. Ouch! I didn't preserve the 4. Ouch! Ouch! Touché. A case in which the test didn't got it. the test didn't got the problem because the necessary tests were missing with 5. Exactly the thing that you pointed out. Thank you very much, Thomas. Thank you very much, Zoltan. Very well. This is now that's mob programming. Oh my god, 122 people. So yeah, no, I have no chance of introducing a bug, right? But let's try this other one. What should it return? Let's see what the spec says. 0, my friend. Just this one. Oh, but before we test, just look here. I ran the test with the shield, which means to run it with, yeah, why not? IDE-driven development, why not? Tell me, the IntelliJ is one of the most powerful software that you have on your machine. Why not, besides Excel? Why not using it? By the way, I'm not sure if you know, there are clinical trials done in Excel with hardcore statistics there. So yeah, why not using it? Now, this red line here, what does it mean? You've run with coverage analysis. The coverage analysis, when it ran, saw that you never returned 0. So this is the fool's tool to see that you've covered all the branches. Okay. Now that you've added this test, this line turned green. Okay. Good. Ditto. Interesting. Good. Yeah, IntelliJ is better than the code I put in production. That should be, yeah, very good. Excellent. Alt enter when you see gray. Good. Perfect. Now, how would I implement 3 of a kind? No, very easy, right? I should copy paste. Where is my pig? I should copy paste, right? Let's copy paste. Copy paste. Copy. We all know how to copy, and then paste. But the source of the copy is usually another one, right? It's good. And then what would we change? Oh, we need first to adjust this one. Eesh, ugly. But let's try. Right now, I will do something that, yeah, in real life you have to do this. In normal situations, I wouldn't recommend that you do 2 refactorings in one single shot. I just copy pasted code from up above, and then I will do the second thing in the same shot with uncompiled code yet. I will introduce parameter object, and I will say that I want to use the same trick, right? And this will very nicely use, but be very careful at the order. It might trick you at some point. Refactor, continue. That's hand. Ta-da! And I will replace, oh my god, 3 here and 3 here. Excellent, excellent. Applauses, everyone. Applauses. Excellent. Woo! Brilliant. Yes, we didn't break anything. If the tests were good enough. Let's see, and yeah, green, perfect. But now tell me, I've just copy-pasted code. Where are you? Let's run again. I wanted to see something interesting, first of all. This line is red. It never passed through, the test never passed through that. Yes, n of a kind, exactly, Baltas, exactly, n of a kind, that's what I will do in a second. But first, 3 of a kind should have a case that get back 0. In the case in which I have, for example, 3, 3, 2, 2, and 1. I want to see this line turning green. Okay, and then you got it, right? Because we have the same identical piece of code with the different digit here, a different number. So let's try to extract. Now, IntelliJ is insane enough to get this. Eclipse doesn't. IntelliJ is insane enough to figure out that the syntax of the 2 blocks here are almost identical. Almost identical. If it were just this 3 should be 4 in that case. Now, looking at the method signature that you extract, it seems impossible. But when you do refactor, this dialog will pop in front of you. And in every such session that I do, in such stream that I do, can you still hear me? Yes, okay, it got minimized. In every such stream, I want to highlight some trick that I'm doing here. Folks, I'm having a problem with this. Can you still hear me? I think so. The thing is, what is this suggesting you do? Pay very much attention here. Is after this dialogue this dialog suggests that you add one more integer to the signature of the method that you extract. Now, why in the world would I want to add one more integer? Oh, integer. Interesting. So this actually reads like this: extract more parameters in order to replace more duplicate. Okay. So if you do accept the signature of the method that will be extracted, then you see the method. I think it should be already be there somewhere, but I don't see it yet. The method that will be extracted will have one more integer parameter, which will allow IntelliJ to match this other syntax. Replace. So okay, the name is terrible, but it will be like you said it very well. But come on, n underscore. Should I use snake case? No. N of a kind. And by the way, what are these? This is Java, my friend, not SQL. What are you doing here? But you know what? Let's leave it just for the method that I will create. I will not. Oh, come on, no, I can't stand it. Tree of a kind, of a kind, of a kind, tree of a kind. It reads very strange if you put it like that. Tree of a kind. Nah, not convinced here. Four of a kind. Very strange. Of a kind. I have two A's, right? Yes. There's a typo here. Good. Now, n of a kind will get n as a parameter. So, after this refactor, will it... But wait, what did it do? Look. What the heck? Snake case is not standard for Java naming convention. It's just strange. Now, there is a trick. Four of a kind broke. Ouch. I can't believe it. Let's undo a bit. I can't believe it. Undo until we've extracted the method. Come on. Is it a bug or am I stupid? What do you think? Am I stupid or is it a bug? Let's try again. So just extract this part. Oh my god. Will I submit a bug after this session? Let's see. Make a method, please. MMM. Refactor. Accept. Replace. And we have a bug. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a bug. After this session, I promise I will submit this bug to IntelliJ. We have a bug. The refactored code is not doing the same thing. After doing this refactoring, the test failed. Let me prove it. Undo. Run again the test. Now they will pass. You all saw it, right? It should have used n in both places. For some reason, it didn't. And I have the latest IntelliJ, yes. So this is working now. Extracting, it fails. This is a reason for me to explain it in more detail. Now we will do this refactoring the Eclipse style, which won't fail. Let's see. The Eclipse developers that are here in the room, they should do the following steps. First of all, they should extract the 3 and 4 from the blocks in a variable which lies just above the block, n. Do this here, put n here. Okay, isolate visually the block. I did it dozens of times in Eclipse. N, dozens of times. Visually isolate the sections so you can check that they are identical, and if you think they are identical, extract. What's the difference? Now the n is defined outside of the scope of the blue block, so it needs to come in as a parameter. There you go. This time, IntelliJ has a simpler job to do. It just needs to replace the same syntax here, but it's the identical syntax, right? Okay, refactor. And replace here. And now, the Eclipse users will inline back the... Now, folks, this was not framed. I did not know of this bug. I just found it with you today. I did not expect this bug. I'm using this technique with extracting automatically the parameter and didn't fail me until now. Surprise. Now, yes, you are right. Now, you have to realize this is not very intuitive code. Let's just look at how what the heck is this? Oh my god, it returned null. There was no null in the initial code. What the heck? So let me undo a bit again. You notice how many times I do undo? This is a good sign. If you are undoing, it means you're learning. Undoing means learning. Undoing means learning. Now, if you look very careful, you see that this blue block will sometimes return. The only way with IntelliJ could refactor this in the final code would be to return a not null value if it has to return, otherwise return a null. This is ugly. Yeah, but yeah, indeed, optional would be a better alternative, but honestly, the best one is what you suggested, others use, extract the return 0 also, because it's also part of the same set of rules, really. So again, I will extract the n, as we said, the variable, put it out of the scope, and then take the remaining block together with the return, n of a kind. With the same identical syntax, I'm done. But this trick with returning a null and then returning, you shouldn't tolerate that. That thing that you saw. If the result was not null, then return, otherwise, what the heck was that? No, IntelliJ was just abusing the null references here. Oh, and by the way, this n shouldn't be here, of course. I would inline it the next second. Inline a variable means to put the value of that variable wherever the variable is used. Control Alt N, I'm pressing. Very cool. Now, move this method above the other. Now, you may know of Alt-Shift-Up, moving a line. What I will show you now is Control-Shift-Up. Very useful to order functions. Control-Shift-Up and down moves syntactic blocks together. Okay, so since in a Java, fortunately, you can't define functions within another function, this is not valid Java. Okay, the only place where you could put the function is below or after the other one. Very good technique, Control-Shift-Up and down. So 4 of a kind, 3 of a kind, and it would be normal to start with 3 of a kind, right? 3 of a kind, 4 of a kind, and 4. Perfect. Return 0, nothing more. Small straight. What the heck is this? Let's see. Where are you? Small straight. Small straight. When placed on small straight, if the dice read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the player scores 15. Oh, this seems like poker, huh? This is I would put the end version on the top. No, the private function should typically come below the ones that call them. Typically, this is called the newspaper metaphor. When you read an article, the details are usually below, not above. Okay, to find out the details about the implementation, you shouldn't look up. What the heck? It's down. It's how you read the book, right? So the small stretch is like in poker, how do you call it? I'm not sure the English terms, but yeah, the small one and the big one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Interesting. Can there be, but how about 2, 3, 1, 4, 5? Well, this is also valid, right? So it doesn't matter the order. It doesn't matter the order. So what would I do? Let's see what this guy is doing here. So first of all, again, defining the C style, defining the variables, and then so I will join declaration and assignment. Good. Then what the heck is this? It again the frequency map, or how we name it, the count map, and then what does it do with it? If tel is, oh my god, if it got 1, 2, 3, 4, my god, no, we can do better than this. You see what this guy is doing? It checks that there is exactly 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3, and you get the point. Again, this misery of subtracting 1 and then checking 0. Now, what the heck? This really means that you got this dice with value 1. My god. Just stick to int return type instead of integer. What? Yeah. In general, don't go for integer. Not from a performance point of view, but from a null safety point of view. In general, prefer int, not integer. I'm answering out of sync because there is a lag between your chat, but please continue to ask and give me ideas. How would we implement this in a more elegant way? First of all, I will do the obvious and I will introduce the parameter to put here the dice hand, thank you, good. It will break, but I don't care because I will re-implement it from scratch. This is just garbage. What the heck? Counting? No. I don't want to go this path. There is a way simpler technique than that. Yes. A set instead of array, but there is something missing. A set has random order in theory, so you should have a tree set there, honestly, if you want them ordered. So that would be one idea. Let's see, first of all, what options we have. In a dice hand, what do we have? We have a stream. Since this is supposed to talk about stream API, looking at valid domain code, int can be negative. Those dices are allowed to take negative values. No. Interesting. interesting question about the value of the integers here. Could you say -1 in your test here? So this is what you point out to. Indeed, we are not restricting these, and we should. The least invasive, the easiest to implement is the following. Is on these dices, basically, I could actually use the same stream of my own dot. If any match, the condition to invalid, let's even, so given a value, that value, you get what I'm doing, right? I want to check that all the dices are between 1 and 6. So if any match D under less than, or let's see this one, okay, or D, this is the invalid condition. Typically, people are easier to read the invalid. I'm not sure. This depends on and if any one of these, if this is true for any element, then if postfix expansion, if put at the beginning, throw new illegal argument exception, which is default the left template. Done. Okay. Now, is dice order for any combination? No, dice order. You can't order your dice without. I mean, it's not a. Let's see if I go to right. If any match less than 0 or more than 7, throw. I should test that part, right? I should test that. But now I'm in the middle of another refactoring. I will stick to this and then add the test. Okay, let's see. So dice hand.stream, and then what should I do? How about sorted? Why didn't you put this at the beginning of constructor? Because at the beginning of constructor, I didn't have the array yet. So the stream couldn't work. As simple as that, it won't work. Yes. And the constructor, at the earliest possible, always validate at the earliest possible. So cool that you asked so many questions. Thank you so much. It's so useful for because this is actually a way. I'm trying to answer as much ideas that you have. So stream sorted. I will sort the array, okay, because the order doesn't count, and then collect to list. They are sorted. Good. So if now this will give me a list. It's convenient. I mean, I would collect this like sorted. Good. Now, what's the condition to put? There is just one single line. I mean, 2 lines to write and finish it. What should I do next? Can you figure out? Oh, make the, that's cool. Yeah, that's a bit geek solution, but it's very, very interesting, but it's not entirely true because it might have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and this is not valid. You see? Yeah, exactly, Zoltan. So the solution for this is actually very simple. You just have to equals. Equals with what? With another list composed of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Dot. If this is equal, now comparing lists turns into comparing elements by position. To sorted, then what should I return? 15, it says. It's hard-coded value, probably with the sum of them. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, no problem. I will put the spec for you if you want to have an eye on it. Maybe it's useful. But let's see. Did I got any? Yeah, good, green, excellent. So a lot more elegant and interesting enough, very close to the spec. You see, it's very close to the spec. It just says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's from the spec, right? Look, that's a good thing. You brought the code as close as possible to the spec. I know this can be collapsed by inlining this, but I don't think this is useful for reading the code, right? So respect the code and. I mean, I have this rule. You shouldn't put a lot of dots on the same line. More than 3 dots, it kind of breaks your head. Don't. Okay, good. Now, there was one pending test to do with invalid dices, and the test is quite funny, this one, because look how it reads. I will just try to instantiate dice. So new dice hand with -1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and this should throw exception. Unit 4, I'm sorry for this, illegal argument exception. And this should be it, class. Thank you. run the tests, the whole class of tests. So this should also be, yes, and there is the second one, yes, the large one, yes, you got it right. It's very easy to do now that you have this. We just need to, I wouldn't extract more, honestly. I will just take this from here and put it here. It's very easy, right? And just 20 here and just 2. I mean, don't try to be super, I mean, there are, I did this exercise with people which were extremely geek at some point, and some of them had this incredible ideas, I mean, super compact code, but just not the point in itself. I was just breaking the code while I was talking. I was editing the wrong code. The point is to leave the code readable and as close to the spec as possible. Always try to keep to have it closer to the spec. Dice hand, please. Thank you. And continue. Good. Now, let's see what other things you said there. Having less constructor arguments is not a benefit in my eyes. No, you should take as much things from the constructor as possible. Yes, as list of 1, 2, 3 to be as a constant. Yeah, I'm not such a big fan of constants, but yeah, why not? Small straight. It's kind of redundant in a way. I mean, I am on a small straight. What should I be equaling with? Small straight, of course. I mean, if it's a habit in your team to do constants from everything, then go ahead, do it. But I won't do it here. Less constructor omega. The specs are correct. Yes, indeed. Always challenge the spec. Always challenge the spec. 5 arguments is just too long. Yeah. I agree that this is not the happiest thing possible, but this is a trade-off. Good that you pointed out. So, who said that? I'm not sure, I'm losing track, but you said that there are too many arguments in the constructor. What the heck are you doing? Now, I'm sacrificing a class. Do you see this is a sacrifice class? This is a sacrifice class. This is shit. This is garbage. This is ugly code here. This is ugly code that I am putting it here in order to take it out from my business logic. This is my business logic. I prefer to have this clean on the expense of pouring the garbage in another class. This is a common technique. You push the garbage to the boundary of your systems in extra additional classes. I agree this is bad. I wouldn't like to see this in my business logic. But on the boundary, why not? So, yeah. You also compare with a set. Yes, set of, which doesn't need sorting, but set might break your order. Let's try that. That's the perfect place to try that. Let's set of. For this to work, I need a little bit of upgrade. Let's go to 15. Project X, what's that? Experimental features. Project and 15 and 15. Come on, 15, please. Go. And now let's see, set of. I'm not entirely sure this will work. I need to get to set here. You know why I have these doubts? Because of the hash code, which is used under the hood from the by the set of. I expect, however, that for small numbers it will work correctly. But I will explain about var in a second. I will expect this doesn't fail here. But if these were big numbers, and I will try to experiment just a bit. So the whole purpose of today is to play around. You get it, right? Let's see. Problems in my poem, I think. Release. Come on. So, release. What? Come on. How is that release? It was release. I think I have an old version of this. Let me just take this out. Perhaps I'm lucky. Again, 15, good. This is 15, good. Let's run. I'm kind of bypassing. It wasn't planned to go to 15. No. Ouch. How do you help me out here? What should I put here for 15? I think it was released, but I think I need the newer version of the Maven compiler plugin. Let me just check. Let's go for the big one. 381, yes, and release 15, please. Let's see if I'm lucky. Am I lucky? Am I lucky? Let's see. Come on, tests. Come on, tests. Come on. And the drums are and come on. Oh, the emotion. In the meantime, let's read. Var args is bad because it leaves a sense of mystery. How many should I give? 1, 2, 3, 5, 7. No, avoid var args. Okay. Makes sense to this. Yes, David, you are right. It could make sense to test. I don't like it. Maybe write another one, which does 11 here. Okay, test bad too. Okay, too big value. It might make sense that, but I wouldn't test every possible one. It's, nah. Will constant improve performance? Constant performance and the constant. Please don't talk about performance in such code, in this code. This is just. Instead of the performance, I would like to prove the stuff that I mentioned with the big numbers. Let's leave just one single test for now, and let's put thousands. So I have large straight. I want to prove that the hash code will mess up the values. In theory, this should, right, continue to pass. Let's see if this is true. Big numbers might get mixed up based on how the hash code of them is computed. So this might, yeah, let's see. Not entirely sure here. Yeah, it cracked. Look, you see? It's it's a different one. Why do I get that? Wait. I got an exception from here. Now why? 11. Yeah, it should have thrown. Oh my god, I'm breaking my own rule. I said the dice shouldn't be more than 7, and I passed 2000. Yeah, you're right. So what should I do? Just for fun, I will comment this out, run this again. So the purpose of today is to play. You get it, right? Collected to the set, of course, set equals doesn't depend on the order, but you need to apply the same hash code. I think you might be right, actually, because the hash code underneath will order them in the same order. Yeah, you are right. Sets should work. Sets should work. You are right. You are right. You are perfectly right. Because sets, right, don't care about the order really. So no, I was wrong and you are right. This should work. With having sets instead of, very good. It was good that we play. Very good. So here, to small straight, collecting to a set should also work because the set when you do equals, it will check every element that is present in both sets, disregarding the order. Super cool. So small straight, large straight, and full house. What's that? Let's see the full house. If the dice are 2 of a kind and 3 of a kind, the player scores the sum of all the dice. What the heck? So 1 1 2 2 2 scores 8. Good. But this is not a full house, and neither is this. Strange, although this could be so seen as, right? This could be seen as a pair and then 3 of a kind. Interesting. So these need to be different, really. Let's see. Right now, am I doing something still wrong? What's failing? 20 and 0 here. This one is failing. 6 2 3 4 5. I'm calling large straight. Oops. Of course it's failing. Okay. Thank you. Excellent. Again, run. Why is it failing? Now, the full house, this is tricky. How could you use it? Any ideas on this one? A possible property-based testing, yeah, that could help you with placing the -1 on every position. The simplest way of doing this in Java is with parameterized test. But I would advise you go to cucumber test if you are there. It just takes if okay, you're right. Yes. Yeah, that could. It's another thing here. That's 15 and 20 look like magic, but the bad news is that the requirements are also magic. So 15, if it's in the requirement, I will leave 15 here. No argue. No doubt on that. The full house. Now, folks, that's the last one to solve, honestly, and I don't think it pays to do another session on this exercise. So let me finish this. It might be several minutes past sharp, so technically it would be just one more minute, but let's see how we do this. First of all, my God, what's here? What the heck? If I equal in I different than 0, I plus equal 1. Who the heck does that? Plus equal 1. Really? And different than 6. Since you are incrementing, that's less than 6. Hope I didn't break anything. Run the test. My God, what goes on here? Equals false. Exactly. Underscore 2 equals false. Yeah. I know that you are thinking in the same. What? Yeah, you are also right. But I will leave this intentionally different, just to prove two strategies of the same thing. Oh! Look, IntelliJ. Thank you, IntelliJ. Well, tell me, my friend, you don't know streams that much. Why are you sorting if you are then putting in a set? I don't care about your sorting anyway. So, remove the sorted. Okay? Now that's mind-blowing. What the heck? Right? Since toSet is not ordered, why are you sorting? Brilliant stuff, really. Good. Now, this thing, the last one, you will be tempted to use the other methods that we created. You will be tempted to use 3 of a kind and 2 of a kind. I think this is it. But you will have a surprise if you do this. I won't implement it. Honestly, I don't want to spend extra time because you have other things probably. So if you try to apply the same 2 things, what will happen? You will also match this one, which is not correct, right? Yeah, 3 of a kind and a pair which are not equal. But how would you do that? Honestly, I think we can get past that using the following, but I'm just sketching here. Call 2 pairs, how is it called? 2 pair? No, 2 of a kind, I think it was 2s. Is it 2s? No, it's not 2s. It's a pair, I think it's 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s. This is not the case. Core pair, that's it. This is just a pair of, okay, a pair of. Now, I would use score pair here. Score pair. And I will also call 3 of a kind. And using these 2, just like a challenge for you, could you implement this method using this? The ideas are in the chat, really. The ideas are in the chat. Could you replace the test and test 2 into a single test? But if I would merge these 2 tests, Peter, I won't ever check this exception. You see? I need 2 separate tests because this is breaking, this throws exception that I need to catch afterwards. I can't merge them. Right? So you could start with grouping by. And checking it if one of them has value 2 and the other one has value 3. Yes, this works. But you can also use this one, right? Yes, Rico, you can merge this in the same test if you are using assertions, either from GUnit 5 or assertions library. It's out of scope for today, but there are ways of doing that. Parameterized tests could execute all of them, yes. So if you are, we are mixing ideas. You said to merge these like that, this is wrong. Then there is the idea of using parameterized tests here, right? Again, a bit out of scope for today, but it will work in it. Yeah, that will run all the combinations possible, right? Okay, so folks, I will finish this one here today. What we luckily to retrospective, what we did, we saw how we can extract a method by parameterizing it additionally so that we can replace more occurrences of a thing. We saw how to put logic inside the data object that we have. You pointed out that this is ugly, and I agreed with you. But I said that this is a boundary object, something that you sacrifice for the sake of keeping the other code clean. Then you had me adding this new rule here, and we added the tests here. We put this inside because we saw that it is used in many places. What else did we do? We had a bug. Yes, we enjoyed the bug. Yeah, and pretty much. And we have this set discussion and list and set and sorted. Yeah, good. Good ideas, folks. And I will finish this for today because I want to keep it in 1 hour. Just as a final question for you, do you think it's worth to continue the exercise one more round sometime in several I don't know, months, 1 per month? I will do this, 1 or 0 in the chat. Do you think it is useful to continue it? There is a bit more to play with, and there is one more challenge, actually, that I didn't told you yet. I will give you at the beginning just a combination, and I will ask you the best move to play, actually. Okay, I see only once. I will also mix them with another kata, indeed. So I will do maybe 2 months from now. You will see. So thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for the wonderful ideas. Really enjoyed having this. Yeah, super cool. Also the bugs and everything. Thanks a lot, folks, and maybe see you next time. Bye. Take care. Stream and bye and end.